As you know, a lot of people when they stand up, they get a little nervous to put their hands in their pockets. I've avoided this by wearing pants that don't have pockets. I'm very happy at school. In a lot of ways, this school a lot better than those I've been. Example, during drama presentations, the stage in my own school was kind of iffy, especially the roof was all jagged, old carpeting, lights that are broken. Here, it's a nice open roof. Among all the drama roofs I've seen, that one's definitely up there. No, really, I'm really happy to be here. You don't really expect to use a lot of what you learn in school during the first year after you learn it. But this is exactly what happened. Last year in art class, we learned how to make these cool little origami hearts during art class. I didn't think too much of it, went on summer vacation. My mother's birthday came up. I thought, perfect opportunity. So I went to buy a bunch of pencil crayons, just gonna color in a bunch of hearts and leave a nice birthday message on our wall. Problem though, I needed to get paper to do that. So I decided, one day we were at a restaurant, it was very loud, so I dismissed myself. And I thought, this is the perfect time to go buy paper. So I go ask the waiter, hey, is there a place around here I can buy any paper? He looks at me weirdly, goes, you mean weed? Is that what the definition of that means? I'm like, no, paper. Marijuana. Isn't that the same thing? So I tell him, no, just paper. So he sends me on a wild goose chase all over the street. I can't find any paper. Fast forward a few days later, my dad's getting a haircut, and I hear there's a Walgreens nearby. Perfect place. Deceptively, Walgreens logo is not actually green, so it took me a while to find it. And when I get there, I go up to the cashier, like, is there a place I can place in here where I can buy paper? So like a printer section. He goes, you mean weed, boo? No, paper. You went downstairs then, honey. So I get downstairs, I'm in the pharmaceutical section. I look around, I give up all hope, I go upstairs. Directly next to the lady is the printer section with a big stack of paper. So I just go get on my way, have a nice little trip home. Like, I love my family, it's great. As many of you know, I'm from St. Lucia. Thank you. I don't understand that, but thank you. No. Many of you probably know about mythology, Greek, Norse, whatever. But I bet you didn't know St. Lucia had its own mythology. A tiny island from the Caribbean has its own mythology. What separates it is the people nowadays believe in it. Still. Listen, when I was born, I wasn't the dashing young man from you today. Instead of green eyes, I had blue eyes. They were like my brown hair, I had blonde hair. This was bad for me because one of my relatives would not touch me or be in the same room as me. This is because, in St. Lucia mythology, there is a creature called a bolong, which hatches when you leave an egg in your armpit for 3 days. And when it hatches, it turns into a very fat-looking baby with blonde hair and blue eyes. And what it does is, it's so cute that it makes people pick it up and hold it, and it slowly gets heavier and heavier until it gradually crushes them. So imagine being someone, and then a relative of yours is born, and they look exactly like a bolong. Are you going to want to hold that? Probably not, no. So yeah, again, I love my family with their show. They're the best, they're the greatest. But the best thing is, there's never a boring day with them. No matter what, you don't need technology, you don't need anything. You just need to be in that family, and something is going to happen. Now, I personally really loved the previous comedy sketch, the comedy story that we witnessed today, and I had my own. The only one good thing that came from my old school was there was a Canadian Red Cross course that happened on the weekend. So I went with my friend, we learned how to do CPR, Heimlich, yada, yada, yada. I didn't think too much of it. Then COVID happened, we had to go online. I was in the middle of history class, I hear my mom go, I'm like, okay. So I quickly mute up, so I was there, which is the name of my sister. So I'm just thinking my sister's teasing my mother. And then after one enough loud shriek, I'm like, okay, the teacher's gonna get me in trouble with this. So I get up, dismiss myself, I start walking over, thinking, all right, there's probably playing. I see my dad hunched over, purple face, and my mother is going at him like this. So immediately I'm thinking, all right, clearly wasn't meant for this. But I see, no, my dad's actually choking. So I'm like, all right, stand back, I know Heimlich. My mom leaves, a few minutes later, comes back with 4 army men, guns at the ready. And they see my dad's fine. I gave him the hand, I knew he was fine. But the thing, many of you don't, or don't, my dad at the time was actually the Prime Minister. Do you know what it's relevant. Do you know what the thing that caused my country to almost lose their Prime Minister? It was a flake from a pastry that my mother made. That is what nearly killed him. Again, I really love the school. I'm proud to be a Spartan. It's nice. Particularly the health center. Way better than the one at my old school. My old school, I was playing volleyball, jumped the spike, landed on my ankle wrong, sprained it, go to the health center like, you're gonna still have to run the Terry Fox run today. Damn it. Here, if I show up, I have a paper cut. Like, we're gonna have to quarantine you. Nowadays, you can't go to the health center for anything, otherwise they'll put you in quarantine. You got a headache? Nah, you can't go. Break your leg? Nah, you can't go. See, sports here, it's not as big as my old school, but sports are still pretty big in Stansted, especially hockey. Which is good for the hockey players, not so good for everyone else. My 2 favorite sports are volleyball and squash. If you want to play volleyball, too bad, no male volleyball, only girls. If you play squash, you just get no love. In the winter compilation at Stansted, squash is not even in there. There are 10 plus clips of hockey. There's a clip of someone just doing this and curling, and there's literally a video of someone playing volleyball and completely missing the ball. But they could not bother to put someone in the squash team just doing this for 1 second. They couldn't manage that. Still though, school's great. Proud to be a Spartan. And I'm kind of somewhat relieved I was on in Mr. Spurk's roast song. I thought for sure there was going to be some passage about me being in the shower all day. I thought for sure there was going to be that. Those who were on my floor can testify. The same floor which did get noted as the chaos floor. Regardless of which, I'm happy with everyone. I'm extra happy that everyone here supported, wanted me here. Though I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Last year I did not expect my comedy performance to do so well. Now this year I was walking by, see someone, it'd be, hey Braden, I'm like, hey, I say their name, hey, say their name. Someone comes by, hey, and I would not know their name. But the thing is, I managed to play it off pretty well. I can avoid their name. The thing is, when I get called out on it, that's what the problem. It's like the feeling you get when your teacher tells you something in class, and you don't really pay attention, but you don't think it's going to be on the test, but then it ends up being 50% of the test. That's that feeling. And unfortunately, that did recently happen. When I was walking out, I didn't make any notice to them. They're like, hey, you know our names, right? Like, yeah, totally. In fact, I know them so well, I don't have to bother to see them again. You guys think that's funny, but I know at least one person after this is gonna come up to me like, Braden, you know my name, right? One person's gonna do that. I know for a fact someone's gonna do that. Please don't be that person.
I did.
Regardless, I had a great year this year. I'm really glad I can come up here for another one and impart you with my words of wisdom this time. I look forward to next year. Have a good night, friends.